And he has this shy, pretty wife now, and she's really shy. And she's really pretty. So sorry, I couldn't help it. Those are words he's used. She's very shy and she's really pretty. I'm like, well, good for you.
I'm happy to see Meri putting herself out there and trying to get herself someone, because she deserves to have someone in her life. I think she's wasted a lot of years trying to prioritize the family while no one was prioritizing her, and I'm happy for that. And Janelle, I'm here for her moving on and making it known that she doesn't care about Cody and his quiet, submissive wife. I love that. Cody and Robin, I'm not buying the mess they're trying to sort of revamp and repackage for us. I'm not buying the fact that, oh, she's the loyal wife, she's good, stunning, she's good looking, she's this, that, and the other, and she wants to make sure that everybody gets equal share of Coyote Pass. She's not. It's because the lawyers are involved. That's why. That's the reason why. They thought they could play Meri by continuing to sort of put this olive branch of being friends and should play along. And now that they've realized she's not doing that, this is why they've decided to paint Robin as the victim of this whole situation. And Khristine, oh, I'm happy for her. I really am. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. I'm sorry for the late upload. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives season 20 episode 2. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sum up what happened with everybody in this episode, and then next week we'll sort of review as we normally do. So with Meri, we get to see Meri. She's on a speed date, and it really seemed aux galore. I think production had something to do with the guys that came to the show. They looked for a couple of awkward people, and then they looked for one or two good people, because some of them you couldn't quite understand why they were there. It was as though they were reading off a script, or they were waiting to be told, action now, perform, and let's see what she does. And Meri, one thing about her is she's always going to remain composed. She's always going to sort of not show that she's shaken by anything. She had a practice run with Jen. I love this, because Jen said, let's practice for your dates before we start. So they did sort of a back and forth, asking her a couple of questions to see if they could sort of get her ready for the dates. The first date was aux galore. I think it was aux galore. It was actually sad to think, why is this man here? Is he here just because he wants a day out, Lee, or is he there because he wants a date? And so Meri is always not going to be up with the nonsense. So I love that for her. The man with the blue checked shirt, he was trying to be funny, but not in a funny way, because he brought up the fact that Meri had been married as a polygamist, because he said, I've been married twice but not at the same time. And it's like, nah, that's not really it. That's not really it. And then the poor little guy, the 37-year-old, I don't even know why he was there. I don't know whether he was just trying to be on TV or whether he was there for a genuine reason. And then when Ron walked in, I realized that Meri likes it. Meri likey. The little cutesy smile she had was the best thing ever. And so I love this for her. I think with Ron, she could actually have something. Sadly, it seems they live in two opposite directions. The fact that you had production call him and have a conversation with him afterwards, that didn't make sense, because it made me question that, is it staged or is he there for Meri? And I really want Meri to find someone. You know, I've always championed for Meri. I feel like she got the short end of the stick. Once she was married to Cody, and then Cody married her brother's ex, and that was her best friend, and then she had somebody else come in, and all the wives were just dropping kids like nothing, and she couldn't do that until she had Leon. So I've always empathized with her regardless of that, because anyone would feel the same. Your husband keeps bringing wife after wife after wife. Not just that, you know the wives, then they're starting to have children while you're struggling to have children. Anyone would be throwing fits and tantrums, because we don't know the quiet struggles that she went through to get to that position. So I empathize with her, and I really feel bad for her. And then we got to see Cody. Cody's trying to paint Robin as a victim of this whole situation. She's not a victim. She really is not. She is as much involved with what happened as he is, and the rest of the wives. Because he was having this conversation with Robin, saying she's struggling to let go. She realizes that it's going to happen, but she's really trying. And Cody says, I've got this quiet, angelic, and shy wife who won't allow me to be naughty, regardless of the fact that I really want to. I was like, I don't think so. Because because they were at Coyote Pass and Robin was saying, you want to sell, the others want to sell, so I have no choice but to get along with it, but I'm heartbroken. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think she's heartbroken. I've always said Robin liked the idea of the material value that the other wives brought in, but she didn't like the idea of sharing the man. So she wanted to be numero uno wife, but have all the other wives contribute to the pot. The fact that she's refusing to sell the land is selfish, in my opinion. Because she's got McMansion up on the hill, and she's got whatever income Cody is giving her, the other wives left with nothing. So why not allow them to keep the property? She should have actually given them Coyote Pass to sell and split between the two of them, and they could have kept McMansion. But because they're so selfish, they won't do that. I don't get it. There was this conversation when they were in their house and Cody was saying, I've changed the names and all the paperwork because if we're going to sell, we all need to get a quarter share. I feel like Meri and Janelle and their lawyers said, we want our money that we put into McMansion and we want our equal share of Coyote Pass. And so Cody is doing this because his hands are tied, not because he's being generous or his wife is encouraging him to do so. I do not think so. I feel like his hands are tied and this is why he was doing that. They had a conversation about selling their McMansion because Cody says, I've received a lot of bad news and there's a lot of bad memories here. Robin is saying the same. And it's like, seriously, you were living in McMansion while Janelle was living on the land in a trailer. How is that fair? Who has suffered more at whose hands? Janelle had a daughter who was being teased because your children were coming from McMansion, being dropped off by their dad while she was going through whatever she was going through. So I don't have any empathy for you, Robin. I seriously don't, and I don't understand why Cody is continuing to try to sell us this sob story and think we'll buy it. Obviously, they're saying they want to move with Robin. She's saying, she's going to feel some type of way because every time she drives past Coyote Pass and seeing it being developed by somebody else, it's going to be devastating for her. And it's like, well, if this is what you wanted, then maybe you should have made sure this man spent more time with his other wives. But you didn't want that. You preferred to get all his attention. So here we are. And you have to deal with the consequences of that action. They agreed to go for viewings on new homes, even though they haven't agreed to put their house on the market. Do I care? Not really. And then we have Khristine. Khristine is with David. She's talking about the fact that, because last time she was saying she's going to be competing with Janelle to see who has more of the grandkids and blah, blah, blah. Well, it seems McKelty and Tony are moving to North Carolina. I assume by this time they've already moved to North Carolina. McKelty saying the reason why she wants to move is because she wants her children to grow up amongst their cousins. And so she feels that her sister, Aspen, is not yet thinking of having a child. So because the children don't have any other children their age, she has decided to move them to North Carolina. Her husband as well is a chess player, so she feels there's more opportunities for him there. You had Khristine sort of mock the idea of him playing chess professionally, and it's like, it is what it is. There was a conversation, obviously, apparently McKelty was disappointed because she expected Cody to see her before she left for North Carolina. Cody on his part is saying that he and Robin, their schedules were sort of conflicting with McKelty. And it's like, if you were serious about wanting to see your child, you could have gone at night after whatever things you're doing. You could have gone, spent the night with them, and then drove off in the morning and come back home and continued with your business. But because you're really not that keen, this is why you didn't make the time. Whatever you want to do, you will make the time. If you could go and baptize Robin's daughter and go and get Robin's daughter's ears pierced, but you can't go and say goodbye to your own daughter and grandchildren, then it doesn't make sense. I really don't understand it. You had, poor Isabel come and say she doesn't understand why everybody is moving to North Carolina while after she has left, because she expected everybody to come down while she was still there. So I don't know. I really don't know. David helps, McKelty move. And this is why the kids love David more than they love their own biological father, which is really sad because David is doing a lot more for these children than, Cody's doing. Cody's got excuses left, right, and center. He says there's been a lot of betrayal. You are still the father. If you really wanted to be in your children's life, you'd be the bigger man. You would be the bigger man. You'd fight to sort of make amends with your children. But hey, They set off the morning after. Khristine wasn't feeling well. She was upset because, you know, her children are leaving. She's moved to Utah to be close to her children, only for her children to move away. David was really trying to brighten up the mood. And then we have this clip whereby while they're driving to North Carolina, McKelty and Tony are caught in sort of in a tornado. And I think that will continue next week. So I really hope they have a safe travel. And then Janelle, I'm happy for Janelle because she seems to be sort of at that stage where you're processing the grief and you're not constantly crying. Or maybe she was just having a good moment. She had a conversation with Meri and was telling Meri that, she spoke to Cody about the land, and Cody said it was going to be divided into 4. When she asked Cody to speak to Meri, he said he didn't want to, so he left it up to Janelle to do it. And Janelle was saying, I don't understand why he can't just speak to Meri. Cody's saying that it's because Mary's a nag. No, it's because he tried to manipulate her and it didn't work. His manipulation of her has stopped working. I think her friends have really supported her and surrounded her and made sure that she doesn't fall in for whatever nonsense he tries to sell her. I love Janelle and Meri's relationship and where they are at now. They seem to have come to a better space where, because they're fighting the same battle and they're very supportive of one another, they have this understanding. The fact that you had Janelle mimicking Cody and saying, he's got this quiet, submissive wife, and Meri will never say anything negative about the family, regardless of how she feels. You could tell she wasn't with it, but still at the same time she didn't want to say something on camera. I think that could be used against her. All she wants is her money. And so I'm happy for the two of them. I really am. At least they leave the family with something. Hopefully they get their share from McMansion once McMansion is sold, because everybody deserves a share of that. I can't wait to see what happens next time. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 1. Bye everyone.